Hello. Hope you guys are doing well. So today I bring you something a bit different, I guess. We're going to do some crafting. So, for people who don't know anything about crafting in LE, crafting in LE is very amazing. Well, at least I think it is. I really like it. It's very deterministic. So, for example, I have this. This is actually already pretty good for what I'm building here. But we can still make it better, right? And we have a few of these laying about here, so we're gonna craft them so I can show you what you can do with crafting. For example, I am lacking in shards though, so that might be tricky. Either way, we have this one with elemental damage, fire damage, minion melee damage, and fire penetration. We don't care about the minion melee damage, and the elemental damage could be fire damage. It would be a better percentage, because the fire elemental, since it's more specific, it will have higher percentages. So what we would want would be a quarterstaff with elemental damage, fire penetration, and then either blind chance or ignite chance. Ignite chance at this point. Blind chance would be for later. So let's see what we can do, shall we? Fire damage. So 13 shards for fire damage and 13 shards for melee fire damage. You might not be able to craft the whole set of staffs because I don't have enough materials, but we're gonna try. We add fire damage. As you can see, every time you craft, it will cost 1 to 10 forging potential. Well, it depends on what you're forging. In this case, it's 1 to 10. And this glyph has a chance of 25% that it will not consume any forging potential. So the first one did not consume any forging potential, the second one did, if that didn't proc. So now we have that. I don't think I have fire penetration suffixes, so we're gonna go with ignite. Okay, so now we have 3 stats that we want, and we're gonna proceed. We lost another point of forging potential from adding ignite. There, 1 to 10, upgrade. Lost another one, 1 to 12. Didn't lose anything. Glyph of Hope was effective. It says down here. Let me turn on. Close the camera for a moment. Crafting outcome. Glyph of preserved forging potential. So if you upgrade it again, Glyph of Hope preserved forging potential. So now that level will cost us between 1 to 24. So it can completely deny us the opportunity of crafting. We're gonna change the other one because it's 1 to 10. The higher the affix is you want to craft, the more forging potential it can potentially consume. Also, if I wanted to add another affix, for example, it would cost me 1 to 18. Adding a new affix also costs a bit more. Okay, let's upgrade that. Lost 7 forging potential. Upgrade again, and no forging potential. So this one is dead in the water. Much worse than that one, which is a tier 5 of both main stats that we want. So we're gonna shatter it. Because there's nothing else we can do. No forging potential. Rune of Removal removes an affix, but it requires forging potential, so we cannot use it. We're gonna shatter. And hopefully we'll get back 3 melee fire damage. We might also get nothing, or barely anything. Got 2 melee fire damage and 2 fire damage shards, so we lost a whole bunch. 2 fire increased fire, 1 ignite, and 1 melee damage, which is kinda annoying. So another option you can do when crafting is you have this other Glyph of Chaos. So you will upgrade an affix, and that affix will randomly change randomly into some other stat. So here, for example, we don't care about the spell damage. Oh, we can craft it because we are not level 48 yet. Never mind that. Well, I can show you on this one. This is a sealed ignite chance, which is nice. It's something we want. It's not a particularly great upgrade for us, because this one has 20% increased melee attack speed, even if the melee damage on this one is better. But we're gonna try and see what we get. So we're gonna reroll that. melee fire damage. That's good. Has a T6 chance to slow, which is not too bad. Melee and spell damage. We don't care about that, so we're gonna try that. Okay, chance to blind. So far so good. Now we want fire damage. As per usual, 1 to 18 forging potential to add a new affix. Add affix. We lost 6 forging potential. Now we'll upgrade. -7, upgrade. -11. So, depending on the level of all the affixes on the item, it will require a certain base level, character base level in order to craft it or equip it. Rule of thumb, you generally cannot craft an item that you cannot equip. It's a way of a bit of a fail-safe. You can still do it if you do some certain things in a certain order, but it's highly unlikely. If you're using an item, you can generally just try to upgrade it, and you'll still be able to use it. Let's upgrade the fire damage. Okay, now we cannot do any more because we don't have enough level. So, for this to be an upgrade, it would still take a little while. So let's try another one from the start. This one has 24 forging potential, a bit more than the other one we tried. Add affix. Add affix. Nice. Occasionally this happens. There's a critical success. So we didn't cost any forging potential and upgraded either the same one or another set. It is one of the random things that can happen. So now we're gonna look for ignite. And now upgrade these. Okay, we are at 9 forging potential. So now we could theoretically destroy this one, and as you can see, it's already a higher percentage than that one. So you could try our luck and try to break this one to get the shards, if we could upgrade that more. But you will. So we're gonna shatter this one because it has 0 forging potential. And you got 3 melee shards. We're gonna try 1, and oh, we got screwed over by the forging potential. Fortunately, we could not get this to 5, nor could we get back the fire penetration on it. Well, it's not a big loss, because this one has a bit more attack speed. It is still a deep damage loss, I think. Oh, well, there's another one here. This one has casting speed, so we're gonna try and reroll it. Fire damage. Got lucky. Now we need to add melee fire damage. Problem is we don't have shards again. Critical success. Did not use an affix shard and actually got it to level 2. Nice. So now we're gonna break this one because we want the fire melee damage shard, because for sure we're gonna be able to bring that melee damage to tier 5. There we go. An upgrade. You see how the crafting works? It's very, very interesting. And now we're gonna try and reroll that. It only costs 1 to 10, so with luck we'll still have forging potential left. 10 chance. Sure, we can use 10 chance. That's useful. And now we cannot upgrade anymore. If I could, I would upgrade the ignite chance. Oh, we got an upgrade. And this is how we are supposed to use crafting during the campaign. And even later on in the game, it's still gonna be worthwhile for you to do this. So for example, here we're gonna try and reroll this. Even if you don't care, if you're not gonna use the item, you can still use it as a source of affix shards. Like for example, I don't have that affix shard. Only have one. It's occasionally useful. So now my idea is to shard this. I'll just break it down for the components. Because odds are we're not gonna be able to do much of it. Especially because at this point it would be a very minor upgrade. Okay, so we have increased sun chance, we have 8 of those affix shards, so let's try and reroll it, see if we can find something that we do not have as much. For example, blind. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a Shatter rune, get the affix shards, And we actually got all the Affix Shards we didn't have. So that's good. And so on and so forth. Here we could try and reroll it. Damage over time. And we got a critical there. Oh, melee fire damage, nice. We don't have many of those, so we want that. And chance to ignite. Yeah, we'll shatter this as is. We got 4 melee fire damage shards. Nice. Here, this one I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna throw. Oh, earlier when I said that there's a possibility of you not being able to equip an item after crafting it, one of the reasons is this Rune of Discovery. Because at certain points in the campaign, during leveling, you'll be able to have, like, say for example, I upgrade this to tier 5 and the second one to tier 5 as well. So if I put this in, it will add 2 more affixes, which will make the level requirement of the item to go up. Currently it's at level 23. Still at level 23. That's because the affixes on this side are pretty low still. But yeah. So be aware of that when you're using Rune of Discovery. Rune of Discovery is very good to find some rare affixes, especially on armor and helmet. Because if you shove it on a white one, it will give you random affixes. So when you have, for example, let's grab this one. This one has 1 open suffix and 3 open prefixes. So let's throw a Rune of Discovery. So now we got 2 rogue-specific affixes, which are levels of Shadow Cascade and Chance to Bleed on Bow Hit. These can only spawn on rogue chests, for example. And this is a very good way when you're looking for a specific affix for your class. Like, for example, that increased armor shred effect. You can try and shove discoveries into white items to see what you get. See if you can get lucky and grab that. And now let's Shatter. It's always nice to have some of them, because you might find a good piece of equipment, like for example this one. Oh, it has Vitality, Health, Increased Health, I want all of those, but I don't really care about the Armor Shred effect. So if if this had Forging Potential, and if I had an Increased Armor Shred Affix Shard, I could try and upgrade it through Chaos Glyph. You could also use Removal. Rune of Removal will remove a random affix. Problem is, it's random. I generally tend to use them more on exalted items to try and make them a good upgrade out of them. For example, this one. This one has... This is nice. Nice to have, but not really mandatory, because we do have Frailty on our main skill. But we do not care about craft speed, we don't care about strength. So what you could do here is you could try and reroll them with Chaos. I'm gonna try on the strength because we have plenty of those affixes. Critical strike chance, we want very specific things on this item. We want attack speed and melee leech. So I'm gonna go ahead with removals and see what happens. We managed to remove one of them, and now we removed the frailty, which made the item no longer exalted, because that was the exalted mod. But that's fine, because we do not care about frailty. There, we have a decent base with a lot of forging potential, so now you can try and craft specifically what we want. We want melee attack speed. Oops, that was a mistake. I want also leech, because this is our leech, and we kind of want to replace them for a better item with more armor. This one also has endurance, which is very nice stat. Okay, and here I guess we have... We probably want health. We only have flat health, so that's what we're going to go with. And now try to... Depending on what you're trying to get, I prioritize leveling the lower level affixes, because they cost less forging potential. But if there is one specific stat that you really want at high level, then prioritize that. For now we're gonna get leech to level 2 as well, 3%. Now I'm gonna invest all the rest of it into attack speed. Because that's the main stat I wanted. Well, we do have 3% melee damage, leech says health. Already pretty good. I'd want some better rolls, and I wanted to try and reroll that endurance, but well, it is what it is. Okay, this one, these gloves, for example, they are nice, they just don't fit what we need. Especially because they already have a sealed affix. If it didn't have this sealed strength, I could try and add here the leech and then seal it, and then add the attack speed, for example. Because you can seal affixes, which is that. It throws them there, to that bottom. So the item will get an extra affix. And the way you do it is you want to have all 4 affixes filled, and then ideally you want the affix to be a bit higher than the one you're trying to upgrade. And then you want an affix that will work well at low levels of affix. So a tier 1, tier 2. Because the higher chance that you have to seal it depends on the level of the affix. A lower level affix will have a much higher chance than a higher level one. For example, it's very common to seal a 1, 2. You can generally get it on the first go. Tier 1, tier 2. But when you're trying to seal tier 3 and above, the chance drops down exponentially. So what else? Okay. This is a specific glyph that you use when you say, for example, that roll there, attack speed. It is maxed out. So if I wanted to make sure I would get a tier 5 at max roll, then I would use the Glyph of Order. Because then the upgrade wouldn't change the roll. Because every time you upgrade, the roll will change. It will re-roll the affix. So you can get from minimum level to up from the minimum to the maximum. And if you use the Glyph of Order on this affix, for example, tier 4, we would get a tier 5 at max level, period. We don't have these. These are special. Glyph of Envy is for providing stability for echoes. And this one, the Research, the Insight, I think that's the name. It has to do with experimental affixes, and I'm not too familiar to explain. I'm just giving you a basic of an idea of the basic crafting system. Okay, Rune of Refinement. This will reroll all the affixes. So say you have this item that, imagine it was all minimum rolls, and it still had forging potential. We can just shove this in there with the Rune of Refinement, and it would reroll all the Affix Shards. This one we cannot use it. I can give you an example on something else. For example, this. Because this is something I'm gonna have to be an upgrade. Okay, this is something we're gonna go and break because we want that hybrid health. So here we go. How it works is we have those rolls 17, 25, 12, and 30 and 3. 20 and 3. Okay, so if we do this, all those rolls will change. Now we have 14, 24, 11, and 16. And we can do it again. That's the way for you to try and make your item better if you still have forging potential left. Or if you find an item that's really good at a lot of the things you wanted, you just want it with better stats. We're gonna upgrade a couple of them here, see if we can get the critical. Not, because we want to Shatter, see if we can get that hybrid health. And we didn't get hybrid health. Sad. What else? Okay, Rune of Ascendance, pretty self-explanatory. Just use it on an item, it will turn the item into a unique. I kind of want to wait because my chosen faction has a bonus that will give me a 45% chance for Runes of Ascendance to be preserved if used on an item that is from Cycle of Fortune. An item from Cycle of Fortune is one. I don't have one. Yeah, I don't have rip. It will show up on the bottom right side of the item near the requires level. Will also show faction. And nothing. I don't think I have anything to show you on this character. Yeah, unfortunately, we do not have. Yeah. Okay. Rune of Creation will duplicate the item, and the fortune potential of both will be 0. This is the only rune that I would say have some care in using, because this is for end game. Generally, that's where it's used. Or when you get a very good Exalted item, that would be really good to try and combine with the legendary, and then you can try and duplicate it. So you have 2 chances of getting those affixes onto your legendary of choice. Rune of Research has to do with experimental affixes, which can only be dropped from exiled mages, and what it will do, it will seal it. Same way this thing works, Glyph of Despair, it will seal it and put it down there with the yellowish, goldenish, I don't know what color I should call that strength there. Then what else? Then there's a Rune of Shaping. We don't have any, but what it does, it will reroll the implicits, which are the armor. As you can see, that outcast coat, armor, necrotic resistance. In this case, armor doesn't change, so it would reroll the necrotic resistance. It would try to get it, so it would change from 20 to value between 12 and 32. It could still be, you could get 20 again. So. Just beware. That's the function of this rune that we're missing, which is the Rune of Shaping. I think we covered everything. So, yeah, just a little introduction of crafting. So, just be sure, craft early, craft often. Use shatterings. If you see items that have affixes that you really want, use shatterings on them to get the affix. And that's good. Now, we're gonna do a quick craft, because I don't care about the increased area. I would love if we could get that and clear that out. Not gonna go anywhere. Third forging potentially can no longer get anything good out of this. At the most you can try this. Increase area with dancing strikes. Yeah, no. They're just gonna shatter. Just because that dodge rating if hit recently is pretty. I do enjoy that. It is useful for what I'm building here. Okay, this one. We can upgrade this one, for example. Oh, still level requirement. And that's it. You go through the campaign, you upgrade your gear. Odds are you're gonna be able to get some good gear without having to require drops, uniques, or whatever. You can see, for example, during my playthroughs, there's a bunch of them on my channel. Going through the campaign, just using rare items. I make a point of just using rare items just to see and to prove that the build can work perfectly without the specific items. Of course, if you have those specific items, the builds might function better. But you can still work and play through the game just fine without relying on any uniques. Sometimes people will have more issues using their uniques because they think, oh, it's a unique, it's a set, it's better. No, not exactly. So beware of that and just make use of the crafting system. You literally, the only thing you're losing is Affix Shards, and you'll get to a point where you will no longer have any lack of Affix Shards. The only reason I have a lack of Affix Shards currently is because this is a sole self-found character. And as you can see, not all of them. I have 35 flat health. So yeah, don't worry, use them, craft early, craft often. That's my tips. For example, 15 critical ministry. You can even use your filter like this. I have a rule specific, especially to level 40, for common shards that I want on my build, that I will want for my crafts, and then this one, which are advanced or less common shards, let's say like that, like fire penetration on minions and weapon, dodge hit rating, which are the rogue specifics. I have all these highlighted, so I can just grab them and throw them into the forge Shatter. So I can get the affixes and craft them onto pieces of gear that I like, that I find that are good. And I think that's it for the basic idea of crafting, on what you can do with it and why you should be doing it early and often. and also because I want to highlight one of my favorite features of LE. Well guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.